My hobbies are a 9-year-old daughter and a 5-year-old daughter, so I don't get too much of time to spend. But whenever I get time, I think that's my biggest hobby. I think they probably bring peace in my life. So I feel that yes, watching English Premier League and spending time with my girls.
That was indeed very great.
Sir, I would like to know some of your experiences as a member of parliament and your achievements in your political career so far.
My experiences as a member of parliament have been very mixed. It's been frustrating at times, and it's been very satisfying at times as well. It's been frustrating because, see, I was doing this interaction with the Indian Express, and they asked me that I've crossed a line a lot of times being a member of parliament, and I said yes, I did. I've done that to help the people. There's nothing wrong in crossing the line. And there are times when I've been told that, you know what, as a member of parliament, you should always go by the book, you should always go by the rules. But if you only go by the book and rules, things will not move. If you're doing for public interest, there is nothing wrong in thinking out of the box, there is nothing wrong in probably jumping the line as well. Provided it is not for your own benefit, it is for the benefit of the people. That is very, very important. It is wrong when you're doing it for your own self, and there's nothing wrong when you're doing it for the people. For example, like if we open communications, we haven't taken any permission from anyone. And tomorrow if someone wants to demolish it, they can easily demolish it. But had we played by the book, we could not have started even one kitchen till now. And we built a library which is a 20,000 book library. It is centrally, it is air conditioned, Wi-Fi computers. We've converted literally a garbage place into a library, and we did not take any permission for that either. Had we had to take that permission, it would not have happened. So there are times when I've crossed the line, and there's nothing wrong with it. In fact, it should be with everyone. If you're doing it for public interest, don't think about it. Nationalism is saving water, telling your children to do the right things. Nationalism is if something wrong is happening in front of you, don't it up. That is, all these things are nationalism. We got the horizon of nationalism. Unfortunately, what has happened in the last couple of years, we've subjected nationalism to only standing for the national anthem. It is important to stand for the national anthem. It is important to stand for national flag, but nationalism is far, far beyond. I got a video that a girl was kidnapped, and there were so many people standing. But I have heard this कि हमारे देश की लेडीज ने अपना सोना देश के लिए डोनेट किया था. That is nationalism. लेकिन हमारे को आज चलाने की जरूरत नहीं है. एवरी तीसरी रोटी आप देते हो, बना के किसी भूखे को खिलाते हो. This is how I live life, and this is how I hope we all can live life as well. It's a very important message, guys. You know why I could achieve. All of us used to live the moment. We used to have discussions with each other, and it should become a country.
Our nation needs to live in the moment.
Very important. Otherwise, you know what? And that is my biggest fear, and that's the reason why whenever I'm home, I transfer to the rest.
Truly, sir, that's the most special gift. You're a role model to thousands of people, and it would be.
So they're happy with it, and yes, it's difficult. And then I've got my dance business as well, so there are quite a bit of things. But then, yes, the most important thing is to not miss out on my personal life with my family, which is very, very important. So I try and manage it as much as I can and balance it as much as I can. But there are days when it's tough. But as I just mentioned it to you, that I cannot.
So many people you inspire each day, but you would have to know, are there any books or movies which...
Who do I idolize? And when I was playing, I said I never used to idolize anyone, and they used to say that I'm pretty arrogant, and you know what, I think too much about myself, but that's the reality. The only person I've actually idolized in my life is Shaheed Bhagat Singh. I've started reading many books. I could not complete even one. The only book I could complete and have read 4 or 5 times is on Shaheed Bhagat Singh. And the reason, because if you idolize someone, you end up surrendering yourself to someone. and you don't idolize someone just for the heck of doing it. If I idolize someone, I feel that I think I can learn a lot from him. So Shaheed Bhagat Singh is the only person I've always idolized, and hopefully till I live, I'm only going to idolize one.
Rightly said, sir, when we idolize someone, we surrender us to them.
So you engage with your constituents effectively as a public representative. Can you please tell us how you do it?
Look, one-on-one interaction, and I think going into the public, because I'm the member of the Lok Sabha, I do not have the luxury of being a Rajya Sabha MP who are literally like rulers. They don't have to do public dealing and stuff. But being a Lok Sabha MP, I think it's always challenging because you have to be among the people, and so I always end up telling him that you are the actual king and we are the actual servants, because you guys can do whatever they want and we have to be among the people, and it is very important to be among the people. I before I got into politics, I said this somewhere that, when you're in the parliament, it gives you so much of satisfaction of someone, and that feeling from inside that when you get elected as compared to when you get nominated is a very, very different feeling. That people wanted you there, that's why you're there. So yes, if you can still take up those issues and try and be among the people, there can't be a better feeling.
Thank you, sir, and I'm sure the feeling of being in the parliament is truly satisfactory and uplifting.
Thank you.
So, what do you feel about awards since you have been the recipient of some of the biggest honors?
It's pretty weird that there are days when I go and people come up and tell me that, you know what, you should have been the one flying rockets, being in the defense forces. I think that hurted me a lot during the last Delhi elections. I don't want to make, because I know one thing during the last Delhi elections was when this free bus ride given to women. And it hurted me big time. Though I'm not a traditional politician, and why it hurted me, because I thought that it was absolute vote bank politics. And had girls not taken that up, had girls objected about that free bus ride, I would have been that up. Had girls objected about that free bus ride, I would have been much more happier, because I said this somewhere that children much more happier, because I said this somewhere that children deserve that free ride much more than the women, because that is the right kind of politics. Had that free bus ride been given to the children, that is development. Imagine you earning 60,000 or 70,000 per month or a lakh a month, and you end up getting a free bus ride. Why would you want that? Why would anyone want that? That free bus ride was literally playing with the self-respect of the women. Kept it for children, I would have supported that big time. So gender equality to me is very important, but more important is self-respect. Self-respect of every individual, whether it's a male or a female.
Sir, indeed, promoting gender equality and women empowerment and moreover self-respect is the actual development, and your ideology on the same is truly inspiring.
So, we have one last question for you.
And I remember doing this interview when I was still the most insecure player in the team. And this is my experiences, and yes, there are times when I was talked about being obsessed. I was insecure, and there is nothing wrong. For me, I think if you take it positively, it's a very, very powerful tool, being obsessed about something. I was obsessed with winning. You talk about, you're obsessed, insecure. And even now, there are days when I've got my low points. There are days when I feel that nothing is moving. I'm not being able to make the change what I want to make the change. When I see my constituency, I go to my constituency. Yeah, my friend yesterday, Gaurav was there, we were in Nagpur. I said that he asked me what is the definition of a leader, and I just said one thing about being a leader. A leader has to die before he can live. Remember this, he has to die 1,000 times before he can live, and die for the people. So remember, when you have your low points, you still continue doing the right things, you still continue pushing yourself, It's not that I've not gone through that. Everyone has gone through. You must have gone through your low points, but don't ever give up. That's the easiest thing. When you don't give up and you end up achieving what you want to later on, how satisfying it is. In 2007, there was a time when I did not get picked for a 50 over World Cup. And that was probably the lowest point in my career because I remember missing out on under 14 World Cup, under 19 World Cup, 2003 World Cup, 2007 World Cup, which I was closest to being selected for. I got dropped just 1 week before the World Cup and I wanted to give up and I was in Mumbai. I said that if I end up giving up, what do I have? I go back to my dad's office, sit with him. He would think that he could not achieve what he wanted to. Now he's come and joined me. I don't want to be a failure. And if I don't have an option, the only option I have is to become the best first-class cricketer in the country. And I got picked for the 2007 20 over World Cup. February I did not get picked for a 50 over World Cup. September I got picked. And as destiny would have it say, won the World Cup in 2007, which was my first World Cup. So, coming back from South Africa on the flight, everyone was jumping, everyone was extremely happy, and I was obviously had my own thoughts that where I was 5 months back to where I am today. And obviously someone asked me, I can't mention, someone asked me that what are you thinking? So there were so many thoughts going on that had I given up in February, I would not have been on this flight coming back home as a World Cup winner. So don't ever give up. Whatever happens, never.
Difficult times and not giving up is the true learning. Now the stage is open for audience to ask any questions from sir.
Go for it. Go for it.
Is there a hand there?
I think we have a question here as well. We'll start here. Hello, sir. Greetings.
Hi.
I'm Sarah here. Sir, we know you're a student from Hindu College. So we just want to know your experiences from college, how it has shaped your career as a cricketer and now as a parliamentarian.
In fact, I was talking to your principal ma'am that how supportive was Hindu College. I remember when I joined Hindu College in 2001 and I got picked to play for India when I was in second year, and my principal at that time obviously took the special permission of asking me to give exams in September because my debut was in April and we had this college exams in 2002 in April, and how supportive was she. Hindu College was very, very supportive. So was my school as well. In 12th, I went on to play Ranji Trophy. My school was pretty supportive as well. So modern school and Hindu College played an extremely important role in my journey, though I could not attend too much of college because I was always busy playing cricket. And that's one regret which I have looking back, because you want to enjoy. When I was in 11th and 12th, I was busy playing. When I was in college, I could hardly attend college. But yes, whatever support I wanted from my college and school, they were extremely, extremely supportive. And I have to thank all my principals who've been a big part of my journey.
More questions? Let's.
Good afternoon, sir. I am Mazin Mundambra from SRCC. Sir, I am one among the lakhs of Indian football fans who wish to see Indian flag in Football World Cup. India has marked its excellence in the cricket, but it's not the case in the football. So, as a former international player and present representative of Indian decision-making body, how do you see the future of Indian football?
Very valid question.
Thank you, sir.
I was at FICCI. BCCI, the amount of money they make, they should spend 50% of their money for all other sports. Cricket is an obsession. We should not be there because every other sportsman is equally important. And why cricket is an obsession? Because cricket is marketed very well and we all want to worship cricketers. But remember guys, every sportsman, whether it is from archery, whether it is football, hockey, badminton, irrespective of what sport they are from, they end up doing exactly the same amount of hard work as cricketers. So don't make cricketers as demigods. Every sportsman who wants to represent the country is equally important. Medals or no medals, this hero worship in India needs to change. We end up worshipping heroes, which should not be the case. We should worship individuals. We should worship humans. Remember, today, probably you feel because I'm twice World Cup winner and then I've achieved more, but there are so many other people who've achieved much more than I have, but they never had those 2 World Cup medals. It doesn't mean that I have put more hard work and they haven't. They've done much bigger things than someone like me for the country. Their contribution could be much bigger. So remember, every sport is important, and when you mentioned, I think it's time that we start investing more in other sports as compared to cricket. And the reason is not only you people and us, it is the media as well. Media plays a massive role. Look at how media promotes cricket as compared to other sports. Tell me, how many Olympians do we remember? We only remember those Olympians who gone on to win medals for the country. But there are so many other Olympians or sports people who go to Olympics and end up winning nothing. But the amount of hard work they've put in just to get selected to go into Olympics, we should all respect that as well, because they're still representing our country. So it is not only about the government, it is about all of us as well. We as a nation needs to change. Our mentality needs to change towards other sportsmen as well. So stop talking too much about cricketers. I think cricketers are not doing it for free. I did not do it for free either. When I was playing for my country, I was paid much better than any other sportsmen. So I'm not doing this country any favor. So start respecting every sportsman, whether irrespective of what sports do they come from, whether they won medals or not. Representing 140 crore Indians is a bigger achievement than winning the medal.
Do we have any more questions?
Yeah. Hi, sir. First of all, before I start, I do believe that you should have been the World Cup
No.
Yeah, you've been a real inspiration to everyone here. Your generosity and your willingness to help everyone around you is a true inspiration. So, what would your advice be to the younger people out here, who want to bring about a change around themselves? So, what would you advise to us as future of India, basically?
I've said it many times. I think India is you. India is you. India, again, I will keep repeating this, that stop hero worshipping. Stop this hero, because, India going forward is becoming a country of जो दिखता है वो बिकता है. This should not be the case. और ये चीजें ना बहुत बार बोली गई है मुझे. You should market yourself better. Marketing is important. Seeing in right places is important. No. Contentment is important. Self-satisfaction is important. Being conscious about your own self is important. Doing the right things when no one is watching is important. All that is sleep well, that is important. अगर किसी की मदद कर सको, जब उसको सबसे ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है, वो है important. Then you do it for something else. Then your purpose of helping someone purpose. Do it and forget about it. Help each other. How much satisfaction it gives you when you help someone and he ends up achieving something great. There's a very thin line between security and insecurity. People who are self-obsessed, there's a obsessed about something and self-obsessed is the biggest danger, because people who are self-obsessed are the most insecure people in this world. Don't ever be self-obsessed. Help person next to you, and I'm sure that person will help you as well to grow. So this is one thing which I always wanted to say, and this is one thing which I've always believed in. Do something good and forget about it.
Thank you so much for your encouraging words, sir. And with this, we reach the end of this wonderful session. I thank Mr. Gautam Gambhir, sir, on behalf of the Marketing Society as a whole, for gracing us with his presence. And his
I think there are some more questions. We'll take 2-3 more, if that's right.
Go for it.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hi.
So my question to you is, you have what learnings you have had in your cricket career that is helping you out in the political career right now? If you can state some specific ones.
What learnings did I had in my cricketing career was my passion. I was very, very passionate. Never got anything easily, and I don't expect anything easy in my political life as well. That's the worst thing I can think of, that I'm going to get anything on the platter. And when you don't get things easily, you fight for everything, and I'm ready to fight for everything. I'm ready to fight for Delhi, for my constituency, for my people, for everyone. And that is one thing which I've learned from cricket, and which can actually help me in my political space. Forget about political space, in my general life as well. And that is exactly what I'm going to teach my children as well. They don't expect anything easy. Even if you have the luxury of everything, you still have to go out there and fight for yourself. And that is self-growth. Self-growth is not when you get everything on the platter and get it very easily. So that is one thing which I'm going to share with my children as well when the right time comes.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, hi sir, hi ma'am. I hope that you both are doing great. So sir, first of all, I'm a big fan of yours. And sir, I have a question related to cricket. So sir, we all have seen that, during those two World Cups, the situation was very intense. So sir, what was your experience that time? What was your mindset? So how did you manage to handle that pressure at that level? So sir, just wanted to know your experience.
Look, during both the World Cups, media asked me this many times, did I sleep well before that World Cup finals? I slept really well before the World Cup final, and in fact before both the World Cup finals, because for me occasions did not matter. The contest was not the occasion. The contest was between the ball and the bat. The contest was between the bowler and a batsman. So had it been a Ranji Trophy game or a World Cup final, the contest do not change. We as media, we as cricketers, start thinking that the occasion is much bigger, so we start focusing on everything else as compared to that particular contest. So for me, staying in the moment and not thinking anything beyond, and in fact I slept better before the World Cup final as compared to other games, because I was pretty relaxed. I thought that, because that has always been my mindset, that when I got dropped also in 2012, they kept asking me that, how do you feel? I said, I feel exactly the same when I started playing cricket. That for me, I think if I'm not playing international cricket, I'm playing Ranji Trophy. Now, if I'm not playing Ranji Trophy, I'll play club cricket. For me, I think getting runs and coming back is I'll be much more happier than failing when we should be able to control the occasion.
Thank you for the commendable words, sir. And with this, we reach the end of this wonderful session. I thank Mr. Gautam Gambhir, sir, on behalf of the Marketing Society as a whole, for gracing us with his presence and his insightful words and thoughts.
We are very grateful for your contributions to the field of sports, politics, and social welfare. We hope you carry on going to newer venues with the same charisma and keep inspiring generations to come. We also thank our principal, ma'am, Professor Simrit Kaur, for gracing us with her presence.
Now we request the cabinet of Mark Sock to come on stage for a picture, please.
Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for the lovely reception. Means a lot. Thank you, man.